because I didn't get
I'd like to call the East China Townsip Board meeting for June 19th of 2023 to order, please. Clerk, please call.
Supervisor Westrick?
Here.
Clerk Smith? Here. Trustee Babel?
Here.
Trustee Blackstock?
Here.
Trustee Nats?
Here.
Trustee Richley?
Here.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody get a chance to look at the short agenda that we have. If nobody's opposed, I'd entertain a motion to approve. So moved. Mr. Richley?
Support.
Mr. Blackstock. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes, same thing. Everybody get a chance to look at them.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Mr. Richley?
my support.
Debbie? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Presentation of guest speakers, I don't see any. No public comment. Consent agenda, 1, financial reports, 2, planning commission May minutes, 3 is historical commission May minutes, 4, Boone City Fire Authority May run report, and 5, CWSRF
have one
CIPP lining pay application.
I have one comment.
So, I'm sorry, Ralph?
I have one comment.
Yes, sir.
Reviewing the financial report, I noticed that we are 55% expended in the 101 fund, the general fund, for only 41% of the year. And I would like those that, I guess she's not here, to take a look at that and find out, are we on trouble? We're halfway through the year.
Reviewing some of those, she said we were fine. I think a lot of times what happens is there's some that they pay the whole amount at the beginning of the year of a contract, so it's front loaded a little bit.
It's usually not that far apart, that's the reason I'm getting, and this, of course, the one with the most money involved, and so it can get bad quickly if you don't keep an eye on it, that's
Yeah,
all,
we'll
that's
get-
all.
we'll
I have
get
nothing
over
else.
on that. Anybody else have anything? All those in favor, we need a motion, I guess.
So moved.
Mr. Richley,
Support.
those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Disbursements, Ms. Harder. Oh, wait a minute. Payroll, $38,014.38. Accounts payable was $1,006,106.77. EFTs, $19,910.30. E-check, $604.60. Tax account was $8.12. Invoices, $140,822.73 for a grand total of $1,205,466.90.
I'll support.
I'll make the motion then.
Of course you did. You just read it.
Clerk, please call roll.
Supervisor Westrick?
Yes.
Clerk Smith? Yes. Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Blackstock?
Yes.
Trustee Nats?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you have that synopsis?
Unfinished old business, cemetery, ordinance. I got it here. Reading through it. Here are some changes here, starting with, I can read them if you want. Starting with 190, under burial rights, under 195.
You can read it right off of here.
Yep, burial rights acquired, will be revised as, the burial rights acquired by the party named herein and evidence hereby may not be transferred, assigned, or conveyed except back to East China Township in exchange for the refund of original purchase price, excluding the cemetery maintenance fund care costs paid when the burial rights were purchased. And this is added wordage. A, whenever a lot is conveyed to an individual owner, the whole of such lot becomes inalienable and shall be held as a family lot of the owner. One grave site may be used for the owner's interment or may be used for the interment of a surviving spouse of the owner, and those remaining may be used for the parents and children of each of such deceased owner. B, in the event there is no spouse, parent, or child surviving an owner, the right of interment shall go to the next heirs at law of the deceased owner. C, if there are no surviving heirs of the owner and or grantee waivers the right of interment shall be conveyed back to East China Township in exchange for a refund of the original purchase price, excluding the cemetery maintenance fund care costs paid when the burial rights were purchased. And D, no transfer or assignment of burial rights shall be valid without properly recording the assignment of burial lots and name change with the township clerk. 195-4 is revised as in A, the word rights are added after township for the purposes of burial. Rights are inserted in there. B stays the same. C is deleted. And I would assume that D would become C, is that correct?
Yes.
And so forth down the line. E becomes D, F becomes E, okay? 195-5, section C is deleted. 195-9, A is revised to burial sites are for human remains only. The following burial combinations are allowed per burial plot grave. 1 coffin burial, 1 cremation burial, 1 coffin and 1 cremation burial, 2 cremation burials. And 195-13, A is revised to read, 1 flower pot and a township approved stand may be placed and maintained at the head of the stones of graves. The contents must be maintained or contents will be subject to removal. Veteran flags and flag holders shall be governed by the Veterans Administration rules and guidelines. Grave blankets may be placed on graves no earlier than November 15th of each year and must be removed no later than April 1st of each year. B is revised to read, no grading, leveling, or excavating within a cemetery shall be allowed. Furthermore, no tree, shrub, landscaping, or similar plantings shall be allowed. C has been stricken, so D now becomes C and unrevised. E becomes D and reads, mounds, bricks, blocks, and any borders are prohibited. F becomes E and is revised to read, the township sexton shall have the right and authority to remove and dispose of any and all growth, emblems, displays, statues, containers, and other items. F is unrevised, or G becomes F and is unrevised. H is unrevised, becomes G. I is unrevised, becomes H, and J is completely stricken. 195-15, C is added to read, upon the discretion of the township to sell forfeiture lots or to remain vacant. How's that?
And that is the reading of the synopsis for the ordinance
I added the
325.
letters changing in here because I assume that's probably part of
to
it.
amend ordinance 310, chapter 195, cemeteries.
There you go.
And that was the first reading.
That's what we have to do with that, right?
Yep.
I'd like to have one question. As we were going through that, I know we were very specific in what you could put in a grave. The one that's missing was kind of stuck out. Why do not we allow to bury 2 graves deep for coffins? I mean, that's common practice in a lot of places.
It never has been here.
I think
And maybe
it's
it never has, but I was,
Yeah. I
think it's the
why are we
water
prohibiting
table.
it? That's what I'm
It
asking.
might be the water.
I know the
table.
back corner is be the water table.
Is that the water
There's
table
an issue
problem?
back there by the woods,
Yeah.
like that.
They usually put, even with
west.
the double, you have to put a double vault in anyway.
West side.
Okay, I was just wondering why that was specifically left out.
Thanks, Ralph. I was asked that same question a while ago. Didn't have the answer. But any other comments? First reading is so read into the record. There you go. The only other thing I have, new business 1, had some conversations after the last meeting, and Mr. Blackstock was ecstatic, I should say, no. He's willing to, due to time constraints, he said he would be willing to not be the liaison to the park anymore, and Mr. Richley, after talking to him, agreed that he would be. So therefore, I make a motion that we appoint Mr. Alan Richley as the board liaison to the Parks Commission.
So moved.
I already moved. So you support, Ralph?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, that's it. Announcements, anyone? I have a couple updates I'll give you. The blinds are hung. We're done with the interior here. The TV's in, the new camera's in. All that work's completed. In the park, in here, two of the three furnace systems have been replaced, and the third is scheduled for tomorrow. So that work will all be done. In the park, the bridges, we had a contractor, as I stated last time coming in, he did. They're done. They're extended. They're less than 1 in 12 on grade. The contractor started taking all the asphalt out, and I was over there all day today helping our supervisor, DPW, out. They're shorthanded, but keeping an eye on the contractor. Everything is based back in. The base course of asphalt's in the everything that was removed. And revised the contract a little bit. We had to use kind of that money up to the total, to 218. We saved some money by having a contractor do the bridges, so they're gonna top everything in the park. Everything will have a new 2 inches of asphalt on the top in the park. So, and they've already started that tonight. They had 2 loads that they had to move over to the top, so they've started on the west side, and by tomorrow night, barring any breakdowns, they will have everything topped and the park will be done. They just have to go back and put topsoil down, seed and stuff like that, clean up, and,
Can you hire the same guys that do the manhole over there?
yeah, I don't know if they have an underground sewer crew,
Get her
but
done?
I can sure ask. And speaking of that, yes, they did restore that, or take everything out there, not to really our satisfaction, which we'll follow up with, but Judy will be happy to know that. They're gonna come back later this year and try to get that work
Is there a
accomplished.
time limit as to when they need to come back
Well-
and finish the job?
In my opinion, there's a time limit from when you start a project to when you can finish. You can't let it go. But our answer from the engineers has been, well, they've got 2 years to do the work, so I don't think that applies to 2 years of a project segment that should take a week or two
Correct.
to open it up and leave it for 2 years. So
Exactly.
that's why they restored it for the summer for her, and then go back after it again. So we're following up on that.
Well,
And in the cemetery, they're
I
gonna
would be
work-
careful with the comment that's sort of passed off there about they have 2 years to do it, which means the engineers have 2 years' worth of time for inspectors, et cetera. And I don't see that we should be up on the hook for any additional engineering charges at all for whatever they're going to have to do the second time.
Exactly.
I made them sign something that said they aren't gonna bill us for mobilizing in and out again or restoration or anything twice. It's on all in now.
That's their mistake.
In the cemetery, paving is done by the same contractor that we hired for the park bike pass. They're gonna go there later this week. We revised that scope of work a little bit too. The asphalt at the back, that road is really not in bad shape, just in a couple spots. We're gonna make sure they remove what's loose there, and then they're gonna wedge that, which means they level it up with a layer and then come back and top it. And they're actually gonna do the back road, and they're gonna do the one ahead of that, farther south, so they're gonna do those two sections of roads. And then we're gonna also do where you come in on the east side, and there's a road that goes to the right and around by the chapel and all the way back by the dumpster and comes back around, that whole is gonna get topped as well. So they're doing more work. We budgeted 60,000. So the quote was for 22 for the one road, but we revised the scope and then added some to it, so we kind of figured it's gonna be around 40. We'll still be well under budget. So that work is gonna proceed towards the end of the week. And we'll get much more work done for what we originally planned on doing. Blaine, the DPW supervisor, was out there and looked at it all with us. He's kind of, let's do this, let's do that. We measure it all up. So that's the progress reports on the construction that I know that we have going on. I know less about Piper's Act and the other ones, just what we get in our meetings every other week, but they're finishing up the services on Meisner, and then that project should be done. They're talking about starting in a week, going down Point Drive. Start that.
Did the road get closed at Putty Gut?
It's closed today, and it'll be closed, it's closed tonight, and it'll be open tomorrow afternoon for the pipe. That's a new culvert they're putting
Right.
across there.
Okay.
They obviously, which is smarter, Mike wants to get it done before they pave it, because they think they're gonna be doing that sooner than later this summer. I would expect that done in the next month. That contractor's one where we don't get much notice, but I'll try to get as much notice as I can out of the road commission to let everybody know, but they'll probably be out there within the next month. They'll be crushing and relaying that whole section from M29 down to the railroad tracks and repaving it. But again, they don't mess around either, so a week and they'll be done,
Okay.
you know, at the most, I think. So that's what I know about construction. Definitely, they want to make sure that, the road commission wants to make sure it's done before the 4th of July, because after the 4th of July, they're talking about closing the Kinghorn Bridge. Because they're gonna redo that whole bridge.
Right.
So they want, probably got, obviously, back paved and open. They don't want to close that at the same time. And that's all I have on that.
I would like to make a comment to thank Chuck at the wastewater plant and Travis at the water management plant for the tours that they put on this last week. It was very interesting.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It's good that you know a little bit about what they have to do in everyday
Right.
life with what they're doing.
Yeah,
And Chuck's immune to the smell, I think.
I know, kind of.
It's not the nicest smell, but
Doesn't smell.
it doesn't to you anymore either, Ralph, I know. I don't smell as much either when I go in there, but it's not,
As long
it's
as they
not
keep it
pleasant.
clean, it don't smell.
Okay, does anybody else have anything? If not,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
moved by Mr. Richley, is there support?
I support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, we're adjourned. Thanks, everyone.